How much did you pay for your last oil change? $80? $100? If you went to the dealer, probably closer to $130. And they had you sitting in that little waiting room for an hour watching daytime TV while some kid who's been working there for 3 weeks did a 15-minute job on your car. The average American gets 2 to 3 oil changes a year. At $100 a pop, that is $200 to $300 a year just to drain a liquid out of your engine and pour a new one in. And that is before the guy at the counter walks out and tells you that you also need a transmission flush, a new cabin air filter, and a fuel injector cleaning. Suddenly your $100 oil change is $350. My name is Rusty. I have been changing oil since before synthetic was even a word people used. 50 years up here in Elk Creek, West Virginia, and I have never once paid somebody else to do it. Because the truth is, everything they are doing to your car in that shop, every single step, you can do yourself in your driveway in 20 minutes. The supplies cost you $30 to $40. The tools pay for themselves after the first change. And from that point on, every oil change you do is basically free compared to what you have been paying. The dealers pray you never figure this out. So let me show you exactly how it works. Let me break down what actually happens when you take your car in for an oil change. The shop buys 5 quarts of synthetic oil and a filter for about $35 to $40 wholesale. That's what it costs. It costs them. They charge you $100, $120, sometimes more depending on the vehicle. The labor, 15 to 20 minutes of actual work, but they bill you for half an hour to a full hour because that's how flat rate pricing works. You're paying a 200 to 300% markup on materials and labor for one of the simplest jobs in automotive maintenance. Had a neighbor come over last year, drives an F-150. He showed me his receipt from the Ford dealer, $142 for a full synthetic oil change. I asked him what they used. 5 quarts of Motorcraft 5W30 synthetic and a Motorcraft filter. I pulled up Walmart on my phone right in front of him. Same oil, same filter. $38. He just stared at it. $38 versus $142 for the exact same product going into the exact same engine. But here's what really makes my blood boil. The oil change itself is almost a loss leader for these shops. They get you in the door at $100 and then the upselling starts. The service advisor walks out holding your cabin air filter like it's a dead rat and tells you it needs replacing. $60. They recommend a transmission flush, $250. Fuel injector cleaning, $150. Coolant flush, $120. And most of the time, none of it is due yet. Your owner's manual tells you exactly when each service is needed. Transmission fluid, most manuals say 60,000 to 100,000 miles. But the quick lube shop will tell you it's due at 30,000 because they make $250 every time you say yes. Cabin air filter? That's a $10 part you can change in 30 seconds behind your glove box. And here's something that'll keep you up at night. CBC News in Canada did an undercover investigation with hidden cameras at quick lube shops. They caught mechanics charging for services they never performed. Oil filters they said they replaced but never touched. Premium oil they billed for but never used. And these weren't shady backyard operations. These were chain stores with logos you'd recognize. I'm not saying every shop is crooked. Most mechanics are decent people. But the system is built to extract the maximum amount of money from you every time you walk through that door. The service advisor has a quota. The shop has overhead. And you are the one paying for all of it on a job you could learn in 20 minutes and never pay for again. A guy drove up here 2 summers ago in a Silverado. Told me he'd been going to the same Jiffy Lube for 6 years, every 5,000 miles like clockwork, because that's what the sticker on his windshield told him. His truck takes full synthetic. Full synthetic is good for 7,500 to 10,000 miles minimum. Some oils go 15,000. He'd been paying for oil changes he didn't even need yet. 6 years of unnecessary visits. I did the math with him. He'd overpaid by at least $400 to $500 just on extra oil changes, not counting all the upsells he said yes to along the way. And the thing is, there's nothing complicated about what they're doing in that shop. An oil change is draining old oil out of the bottom of your engine and pouring new oil in through the top. The drain plug is 1 bolt, 14, 15, or 17 millimeters on most vehicles. The filter unscrews by hand. The oil weight your engine needs is stamped right on the cap, 5W30, 0W20, whatever it says, that's what you buy. Your owner's manual tells you how many quarts it holds. Most cars take 4 to 5, trucks 6 to 8. The supplies run you $30 to $40 at Walmart, 5 quarts of full synthetic and a filter. The tools are a one-time investment of about $60 to $75. Socket wrench, filter wrench, drain pan, jack stands, funnel. That investment pays for itself the first time, and from then on, you're only spending $30 to $40 every 7 to 10,000 miles instead of 100 plus at the dealer. The whole job is 20 minutes once you have done it a couple times. The trickiest part is knowing that warm oil drains better than cold, that the oil arcs outward when you pull the plug so your pan needs to be back a couple inches, and that you always wipe fresh oil on the new filter's gasket before you screw it on or it will not seal right. Those are the kinds of details a 50-year mechanic knows and a YouTube comment section gets wrong. The other thing I see people mess up is over-tightening the drain plug, and snug is all you need. Stripped oil pan threads are a $300 to $800 repair because someone decided to gorilla grip a bolt that only needed a quarter turn. Had a neighbor, retired school teacher, 62 years old, never touched a car in her life. She watched me do this once and did her Camry the next time. Took her about 35 minutes the first time. She has done it 3 times since then. Has not paid for an oil change once. If a 62-year-old woman who had never held a wrench can do this in her driveway, there is no reason anyone watching this cannot. So what does this actually save you? The dealer charges $85 to $130 for a full synthetic oil change. You're spending $30 to $40 doing it yourself. That's $50 to $90 in your pocket every single time. Do it twice a year, and you're saving $100 to $180 annually. 3 times a year. If you drive a lot, that's $150 to $270. But that's just the oil change itself. What you're really saving is all the garbage they try to sell you every time you walk in. The transmission flush you don't need yet. The cabin air filter they charge $60 for. The fuel injector cleaning that does nothing on a healthy engine. Every time you change your own oil, that's another visit to the shop you're not making. Another waiting room you're not sitting in. Another service advisor who doesn't get the chance to walk out with a laundry list of things your car supposedly needs right now. Over 5 years of owning a vehicle, we're talking about $700 to over $1,000 in savings, just on oil changes. That's not counting the upsells you would have said yes to, because the guy in the polo shirt made it sound urgent. And here's the part nobody talks about. When you change your own oil, you know it's done right. You know the filter actually got replaced. You know the oil that went in is the oil you paid for. You know the drain plug is tight. You can't say that about every shop out there. and the hidden camera investigations prove it. 20 minutes in your driveway, $35 in supplies, and you never have to wonder if the job got done right because you did it yourself.